Unrivaled League needs Caitlin Clark, and they are preparing to offer her a massive.
The WNBA is currently in full-blown panic mode after ESPN revealed yet another outrageous headline regarding Caitlin Clark's unmatched offer. Let's face it, the WNBA had this one coming. Caitlin Clark is the only bright star who has been propelling the league to new heights. But what did she receive in return? Oh, a laughable $775,000 raise on top of a whole package of racial and physical abuse, all the while earning millions of dollars for the league.
People are having to move their venues when she comes to play, and she's getting paid like $75,000 a year. She should be one of the top paid players in the world just for the sheer numbers that she's bringing.
However, the Unrivaled understand the worth of a true star. They're not only providing her with a secure environment in which she will be honored, but they're also paying her for her talent. No more nasty hits or disparaging remarks about the color of her skin. And wait until you hear the amount they're paying for just 3 months of Caitlin's time. Let me tell you the specifics because, believe me, it's worth every penny.
It has also been reported that Unrivaled 3-on-3 League offered Caitlin Clark significant equity in the league and a salary that is over $1 million.
Unrivaled, a major international league, has offered Caitlin a staggering $1 million for just 3 months. That's nearly 15 times what the WNBA was paying her for the entire year, and all they're asking her to do is play for 3 months. It's like Unrivaled just walked up and said, "Hey, we actually recognize talent, and we're ready to pay for it," while the WNBA is over here acting like she's some newbie on a trial run. It's not just the money.
Brings me to something that I've also been thinking about, and I've told you guys in the past that I do work with.
Caitlin wasn't just playing. She was running a one-woman show that turned the WNBA into a gold mine. Tickets were selling for the highest price possible, and merchandise was flying off the shelves. In terms of viewership, people weren't watching the WNBA. Instead, they were watching Caitlin Clark. Every time she took the court, it was a packed house, and fans were buying her jerseys as if they had disappeared the next day. Caitlin was a walking, talking, revenue-generating machine, and everyone.
It has been so clear for so many people the Caitlin Clark effect that she has had on the WNBA this season. We have talked about it so much on this channel. She has raised overall viewership.
The worst part is that, despite all the money she was bringing in, her actual salary was a pitiful $70,000 for the year. Yes, you read that right. $770,000 for the player who single-handedly propelled the WNBA to new heights. The league was making a ton of money because of her, but Caitlin herself was earning less than some mascots. This wasn't just about selling tickets. She was the name on everyone's merchandise and the main attraction, so the WNBA gave her a few pennies and called it a day.
But when you're making such a buzz about all of these other players who are joining and you're just not saying anything about Caitlin, or you're not putting aside whatever millions of dollars need to be had to get her into your league, I feel like it was a missed opportunity.
And it wasn't just on the court. She was catching heat for her skin color too. That's right, they had her out there playing in what felt like a battlefield. And instead of supporting their biggest star, the WNBA left her hanging. Meanwhile, Unrivaled is not only promising safety, but laying down the law that they won't put up with any of that nonsense. Caitlin will get the supportive, bias-free environment she's never had in the WNBA without worrying about taking blows or sidestepping prejudice. Just to play the WNBA was supposed to be Caitlin Clark's big break, her grand stage to bring her magic to a national audience. Instead, it turned into a battlefield literally one season in, and Caitlin went from being the league's hottest new prospect to a full-on target-taking hit after hit. We're not just talking rough play here. This was practically a brawl, and it seemed almost personal from the very first game. Her opponents looked dead set on stopping her any way they could, knowing full well they'd probably get away with.
The list goes on, but there have been so many players, coaches, media personality who have been so afraid to just admit the fact that Caitlin Clark has been the sole reason for so many of these things happening this season in the WNBA.
Let's discuss the event that everyone recalls, Angel. In one of the most intense games of the season, Reese, yes, that Angel Reese, went straight for Caitlin's head. We're talking about no subtlety, no holding back. She clocked Caitlin in the face. Everyone saw it, including the crowd, commentators, and cameras, but the referees abruptly went blind. There was no foul, no whistle, nothing, and Caitlin had to just shake it off and carry on despite being obviously stunned.
Seattle, and all of a sudden, we're pretty close. This has been as close as it's been all second quarter long, 44.
Then came the playoff nightmare, which drove supporters insane. The referees simply shrugged, no foul, no reaction, as if Caitlin were some invisible athlete who didn't require any action after she got a vicious eye poke, not just a light tap, but a hit severe enough to take her off her game and put her in danger of serious harm once more.
Seen it? Ain't nobody go for a ball like this and then their hand go down like this. You go to block the ball, you would think she would do this or the poking out like this. How are you going to go for the ball like this and then have your hand come down and hit her right in the eye? Intentional.
After all of this, Caitlin finally reaches her breaking point during one of those extremely stressful times, at which point she lets out her rage, and Slam's fans couldn't ignore the double standard staring them in the face, as the referees suddenly had perfect vision and called a foul on her as if they had been waiting for this moment. Apparently, taking out her frustration on a piece of equipment was a red flag, but her getting literally smashed in the face or jabbed in the eye was fine play. Caitlin was expected to follow a single set of rules, and her opponents appeared to have unrestricted access to her. However, the WNBA itself was silent about all of this. Every time she was knocked down, Caitlin hardly received a nod from the league. It seemed as though she hadn't brought them record-breaking ticket sales and viewership. Instead, she would get up, shake it off, and carry on, and the league wouldn't even acknowledge it. After that playoff injury, which clearly affected her vision, did they issue a statement or express any concern? Nope, it was business as usual.
They hate her because she's white, she's straight, and more importantly, she's better than everybody else. Period. End of story.
And that's where Unrivaled comes in. They've been watching what Caitlin has gone through, and they're making it clear that they don't mess around with player safety. They have a whole different approach. Actual rules that protect players instead of letting them get beaten up with no consequences. If a player gets hurt, they don't just send in a trainer if it's serious. Instead, they have real proactive medical support on standby ready to go the minute anything happens. We're talking on the spot, top-notch care.
It will be interesting to see how well this league does, how much these women get paid, if there are any significant injuries.
However, Unrivaled is thinking about what happens after an injury, which is probably a foreign concept for the WNBA. After taking hit after hit, Caitlin could hardly get an ice pack from them. However, Unrivaled isn't just about quick fixes. Instead of pushing players back onto the court as soon as they can stand, they monitor recovery, offer treatment, and actually make sure they're ready to play safely. It's not about just taping them up and telling them to go for it. They want players to feel fully prepared, strong, and confident before they even consider returning to the game.
The average WNBA viewership, game, 7,300 in attendance, The average Angel Reese game is 10,100, 10,200. They come to watch her. You know what the average attendance is when Caitlin Clark plays home or the road?
What?
15,300.
Wow.
In addition to the physical abuse, Caitlin was drawing an average of 15,000 spectators per game in her first season, a record-breaking number when compared to the league's average of 7,300 spectators per game the previous season. It's obvious that Caitlin was on another level. She wasn't just filling seats. Those 15,000 spectators weren't just sitting quietly. They were loud, devoted, and all in. They came to cheer, chant, wave signs bearing her name, and they didn't leave empty-handed. Fans were purchasing her jerseys before stores could be found.
They hate her because she's white, she's straight, and more importantly, she's better than everybody else. Period. End of story.
Caitlin was setting records while Angel and Alyssa had a different opinion. Rather than recognizing the enormous boost Caitlin was giving the league, they made accusations about the new diverse wave of fans she was bringing, branding them racist. Yes, some of the league's own players were accusing Caitlin of bigotry. It wasn't about her skill or her game-changing impact on the league. Rather, it was about making her fans seem like outsiders, as if they didn't belong. However, the Unrivaled is the league where players are commended for their talent.